What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to James Bullion. If you're new here, I'm James. I buy and sell and stack gold and silver, and this channel is all about helping you to do it smarter. Today's video is one I've been asked for from my little nephew, actually. It's a stacker's language guide because he's very new to the bullion world. I mentioned some words in previous videos which he didn't understand. Things like spot price, premiums, troy ounce, legal tender, assay cards. What does it all actually mean? So in this video, I'm going to go through every key term you need to know as a gold and silver stacker, whether you're buying your first coin this week or you've been at it for a while and just want to fill some gaps. This one's for you. I've grouped everything into sections so it makes sense. I'll explain each term in plain English with real examples for my own stack. No jargon for the sake of jargon. So let's get into it. So the first thing is spot price. So let's start with the big one. The spot price is the current market price for 1 troy ounce. That's 1 troy ounce, I should say. And it's set by global trading. So it moves throughout the day. When someone says gold is at 3,500, they're talking about the spot price per troy ounce. The spot price is your baseline. Everything you buy or sell is measured against it. You can check in GBP or USD, depending on where you're coming from. You can see on the bullionsafe.com. You can go to Bullion by post, or you can just Google gold price and it'll come up with something. Then you've got troy ounce. Here's one that catches people out. A troy ounce is not the same as a regular ounce. A troy ounce is 31.1 grams. A regular ounce, the one used for food or postage, is 28.35 grams. So if I weighed this on my scales, we can get those scales up. Does that come on? That's come on. So that's an ounce. So that should be, yeah, I've got it in ounces there. Let's put it in grams, shall we? 31.4 grams. So it should be 31.1, but there or thereabouts, okay? When anyone in the world says per ounce, they always mean troy ounce, or anyone in the bullion world, I should say, they mean troy ounce. Every piece, every price, every weight, every comparison is all troy. Yeah, you see it written as a OZ or sometimes a T OZ as well. So the next one is the premium. So premium is the amount you pay above the spot price. So no dealer sells at spot. They have to make some money. So if spot is 55 an ounce, pounds that is, you buy a silver Britannia, like one of these. For £62, the premium is £7. So about 13% over spot. The key thing to remember, lower premiums means more of your money goes into actual metal. That's why stackers are always comparing premiums between dealers. Next, we have the spread, and the spread is the difference between what a dealer will sell you something for and what they'll buy it back from you for. So if they sell a sovereign for £500 and they buy it back for £480, the spread is £20. A tighter spread means it's easy to break even when you sell. Always check the spread, not just the buy price. So now we're going to go into the types of metal and products. So the first thing is bullion. So bullion simply means precious metal in a standardized form that's valued by its metal content, I should say. So gold bars, silver coins, platinum ingots, all bullion. The word comes from the French word for a melting house. When someone says, I'm into bullion, they mean they buy physical gold, silver for investment. So then you got bullion versus numismatic. It's a really important distinction. Bullion coins are valued primarily by the metal content. You buy them for gold and silver inside. A gold Britannia is a gold bullion coin. Its value moves. Its value moves with the gold price itself. The spread, whereas numismatic coins are valued for their rarity, age, condition, and collectability. So a Victorian gold sovereign is in perfect condition, might sell for far more than its gold content because collectors want it. You're paying for the history and the rarity of that top metal. There's a little sovereign there. As a stacker, you're mainly buying bullion, but some pieces sit in both worlds, like older sovereigns. They have both melt value and a numismatic interest as well. So then we look at the fineness and purity. and this is expressed as a number out of 1,000. So 999.95 gold means 99.99% pure gold. A gold Britannia, again a little one here, is 999.9. A gold sovereign is 916.7, which is 22 karat gold. It's alloyed with a small amount of copper to make it harder and more durable. For silver, 999 Fineness standard investment grade. You'll see this stamped on the bars and coins. Something says 925, that's sterling silver. That's normally jewelry grade, not investment bullion. So that might be like, like a chain or silver chain or whatever. Then you've got bar versus coin. So let's get one of these each up. So then you've got bar versus coin. A bar is a rectangular piece or refined metal, usually stamped with a refiner's name. Weight and purity. Bars typically have the lowest premiums because they're the cheapest to produce. A coin is minted by a government mint, has a face value, and is legal tender somewhere. Britannias, sovereign, maple leafs are all coins. Coins tend to carry higher premiums, but are more recognizable and easier to sell. A round looks like a coin, but has no face value and isn't legal tender. It's produced by a private mint. Rounds aren't massively common in the UK. They are more so in the US, but you'll see them occasionally. They're usually priced between bars and coins. You have assay cards, and this is a sealed packaging that many bars come in. It's a tamper-proof card that certifies the bar weight, purity, and the serial number. If you're buying a PAM, a Metal or a Horus bar, it usually come in one. Keep it sealed. Bars in the original assay cards are worth more and really sell than loose bars. So just a bit food for thoughts on there. So let's move into some UK tax terms. So as I mentioned on a number of my videos so far, CGT, or what we call capital gains tax. So CGT is is the tax you pay on profits when you sell. So if I sell all this, if it's not CGT exempt, then I have to pay tax on the profit itself. Currently, the allowance in the UK is £3,000 per year. Gains above that are taxed at 10 or 20% depending on your income bracket. But here's the crucial bit for stackers. UK legal tender coins are completely exempt free from CGT. That means Sovereign, Britannia, Queen Beast, Tudor Beast, any raw mint coin with a face value, so you've got £2 there, are exempt from CGT. So really important to know that. We've mentioned the word legal tender, so this means a coin that has a face value officially recognised as currency by the government. In the UK, sovereigns have a face value of £1, and Britannia's, this is gold, have a face value of 100. And then obviously we talked about the silver one here, face value of £2. Foreign coins like Cougarans and Maple Leafs are not UK tender. They're VAT-free as investment gold, but they're subject to CGT. That's a really important distinction. So I've had a video already about the VAT margin scheme, but for the glossary, the VAT margin scheme is a scheme where dealers selling pre-owned silver only charge VAT on the profit margin, not on the full item price. Since if I bought this brand new silver from the raw mint, I would have the spot price. I would have the raw mint adding additional money on top, and then I would have to pay 20% VAT. If a dealer then buys this off me second hand, and they buy it for 50 and they sell it for £60, they're only paying VAT on the £10 profit. So something really important for you as well there. Investment gold is a specific legal definition. It covers bars of at least 999 fineness and gold coins of at least 900 fineness. They are or were legal tender in the country of origin. So investment gold is exempt from VAT in the UK. If someone offers you gold and charges VAT, either it doesn't qualify as investment gold or something's wrong. So move on to section 4, which is buying and selling terms. So we talked about spot price. So what is over spot, what is below spot. So when someone says they're selling at £3 above spot, they mean the price is the current spot price plus £3 on top. That's the premium. Below spot is the dream. if it means you're paying less than the current market price. It does happen occasionally on the secondary market, especially peer-to-peer when someone needs a quick sell. If you see it, jump on it, just be really careful. The melt value is what the raw metal content or a coin or bar is worth at today's spot price. A sovereign's melt value is whatever 7.32 grams of gold is worth right now. If a dealer offers you less than melt value, they're lowballing you. If they offer above melt, that's because the coin has additional value, maybe the numismatic premium or just high demand, and fantastic. DCA, which is the pound cost average, so or the dollar cost average if you're in the US. It means buying a fixed amount of bullion at regular intervals regardless of the price. So this is what I do. So say you buy £200 of silver every month. Some months silver is high, some months it's low, but over time your average cost moves out. It's simple, stress-free strategy, and it stops you from trying to time the market, which almost nobody gets right. So LBMA, again, stands for the London Bullion Market Association. They set the standards, I should say, for gold and silver bars traded in the wholesale market. If a bar is from LBMA approved refiner like Mintage, PAMP, Umicore, you know it meets the highest standards for weight and purity. Buying LBMA approved products is a simple way to protect yourself from fakes. So we move into the stacking culture and the slang. So stack or stacking, which is what everyone on this video hopefully will be doing or is doing. So your stack is your collection of physical precious metal. So everything that's in front of me here is part of my stack. Excuse me. So you hear people say, I've been stacking for 5 years, or here's my latest stack update. It's the core identity of the community, right? We're all stackers, we're all friends, and we all want to see each other stack and everyone do well. A stacker buys primarily for the metal value. They want as many ounces as possible for the best price. A collector buys for the design, rarity, and history. They'll pay higher premiums for specific coins because they love the piece, not just the metal. Most of us are a bit of both, if we're honest. Then you've got safe haven. So safe haven is an asset that holds or increases its value during economic uncertainty. Gold is the classic safe haven. When stock markets drop, as we're seeing today, because of currencies weakening or geopolitical tensions rising, money flows into gold. You'll hear this term a lot in market commentary. Fiat. So here's one. So fiat means government issued currency that isn't backed by physical commodity. So you may have heard of the gold standard previously. So the word comes from Latin meaning let it be done. Stackers often talk about fiat versus hard money, meaning they prefer holding gold and silver with an intrinsic value over paper currency that can be printed endlessly. Sound money is money that holds value over time. Gold and silver are considered sound money because governments can't just create more of it. You can't just print gold. The supply is limited by nature, right? So the more, limited by nature. So when someone says they believe in sound money, they're basically saying they trust precious metals more than they trust the government currencies themselves. Milk spots. So I'm probably going to end up with some milk spots after all these videos because I've not covered my lovely silver. But milk spots are those white cloudy marks that sometimes appear in silver coins, especially Canadian maple leaves, the older ones, and some older Britannias as well. They're definitely getting a lot better now. This is 2026. See Prince Charles on there. They're caused by residual cleaning agents from the minting process reacting with the silver. Doesn't affect the purity or weight of the coin, but sometimes it does affect the visual appearance, and some dealers discount coins with milk spots, which again can be a good deal if you're stacking for metal content, not beauty. BU, or brilliant uncirculated, means the coin is a brand new condition straight from the mint, never circulated, never handled with gloves. It's a standard condition for investment bullion coins. If you see BU in a listing, it means it should look perfect. Then you have proof. A proof coin is a specialized, high quality version of a coin struck multiple times with polished dies to create a mirror-like finish. Proof coins are made for collectors, not stackers. They come in fancy boxes with certificates and carry much higher premiums. Beautiful to look at, but not the best value per ounce of metal. Then you got the capsule, tube, and monster box. So a capsule is, I haven't actually got any of my capsules because I took them all out, but it's the plastic case that you hold a coin into, right? A tube holds a stack of coins, so I've got some tubes back there, usually between 20 and 25, and a monster box. That's the big daddy, right? So if you win the lottery in the UK, it's the bulk packaging that Mint ships boxes in, usually 500 coins. If you see someone showing off a monster box, they are serious stackers. Finally, I want to go into the Sigma tests. So a Sigma test uses a Sigma metalytics device that sends electromagnetic waves through a coin or bar to verify the metal composition without damaging it. If it passes a Sigma test, you know the metal is genuine. I test every single piece, I buy and sell, and that's why I feel comfortable when I put my stuff on the marketplace on the Bullion safe. It's been supported by Sigma results on listings. There's a really good company in the UK called Numismatic, who basically have the rights for the Sigma machines in the UK. And I'll put a link into the description as well on the main page. Right, let's rapid fire through a few more terms to come across. Obverse, the front of a coin. Reverse, the back of the coin. Mintage, the number of coins produced in a specific year or run. Lowered mintage usually means a higher collector value. Face value, the value stamped on the coin issued by the government. So this one's £5. On a sovereign again, it's £1. Britannia, it's £100. That's gold, obviously. And I talked about silver, so we have a £2 and a £5 coin here. Toning, the natural discoloration that happens to silver over time. Some people love it and actually will pay more for a coin. Some people hate it and will pay less for a coin. It doesn't affect the metal content at all. KYC, is know your customer. So this is an identity verification required before buying and selling on regulated platforms. On the Bullion safe, every person that showcases on the marketplace is KYC verified through Stripe. If you go to large bullion dealers and you pay over a certain amount, they may require you to do KYC verification as well. So stop things from like anti-fraud as well, right? LCS is your local coin shop. So it's a physical shop where you buy and sell coins in person. Unfortunately, less common in the UK. I wish there was more, but there's loads in the US, and they do exist in the UK. And obviously, the more we support our local community, the better. And finally, hold. It comes from the crypto world, a type of hold, HOLD, that's stuck. In stacking, it just means don't panic sell. Hold your metal for a long time. So there you go, your complete guide to a stacker's language. If you come into the video confused, I hope you're leaving it fluent or at least conversational. If I've missed a term you think should be on the list, drop it in the comments. I'll pin the best ones and maybe we'll do a part 2. And again, thank you, and I'll see you next time.